This is Brindlewood Bay. Have yourself a merry little murder, a special little holiday morsel for Brindlewood Bay here with the Shadow Society group. Let's introduce ourselves, and then we're just going to dive right into character introductions. I'm not going to do cats today. So I'll start. My name is Jason. I use he, him pronouns. I am the creator of Brindlewood Bay, and I'm really excited to run this mystery. I've never run this one. So it'll be very exciting. We're actually doing the new Nephews in Peril version, so that'll be a lot of fun. Let's go over to Mads.
Hi, I'm Mads, she, they, and I'm gonna say it. It's like I wrote Have Yourself a Merry Little Murder. So yay, I get to see it in action and get to play it instead of like play testing it or anything like that. So hope everybody has fun and I'm looking forward to this.
Fabulous. Thank you. Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda. My pronouns are she, her. I'm very excited to play this mystery that Mads wrote because she's been lovely enough to play mysteries that I've written and feels like a nice back and forth. And I'm here for that. Yeah, got my Jurassic Park Christmas sweater on.
Awesome.
Feeling very festive.
Thank you. Ben.
I'm Ben. I use he and him pronouns. I'm also excited to be playing Mad's Mystery. It's been a bit since I played Brindlewood Bay, so it's nice to be returning. And I also make character keepers, and I really need to update this one.
Sounds good. We might be using an old version for all I know. But okay, great. Let's go ahead and so if you're watching this video and you're looking for like, how do I introduce Brindlewood Bay to new players, or how do I teach the game? This is not the video for that. We're not going to be doing all that in this video. Normally I would do like the step or the session 1 procedure, but this group knows Brindlewood Bay really well. I have plenty of other videos in my channel on YouTube if you want to see how to do that part of Brindlewood Bay. So instead, what we're going to do is introduce the character straight away. I'm going to go in the order of the sheet. So when I call on you, please tell us just the basics of what we know about your character. Some of these characters are like kind of returning from another sort of one-off sessions we did. I don't think it has to be super consistent there as far as that goes, but we'll just learn a little bit about the characters here. And so we'll start with Amanda and Una von oh my goodness, Grimmelshausen Krychek Smith. Do tell us about Una.
Una's name is that long because I was being mean to Jason when I created this character. But she loves her cardigans, her cozy sweaters. She is an armchair cryptographer or cryptozoologist, not cryptographer. So she's very into cryptids, but not so much into hunting them, more like about reading about them and such, magazines about them. She, in a different universe, was lost to the void, unfortunately, but she's back. She's better than ever, except for maybe a few Crowns of the Void marked, but we'll see how that goes. Her maven moves are Quincy, so I have a medical background, and Colt Seavers. Once per session, I can take a 12+ on any roll related to wild or daring physical feat.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Let's keep going and talk about Mary Frost. Mads, tell us about Mary.
Yeah, so Mary's style is office hours. So she's generally put together with like a graphic t-shirt, some pencil pants, and combat boots. I know not quite office hours, but I'm a little bit off. She's got
Depends on what kind
let's
of office,
see.
right?
Yeah, very true. Like a very cash office. But she was like a voice teacher in a community center. So I mean, of course, like she's gonna be doing whatever's comfortable to be able to sing. And her maven moves are Michael Knight. So she's got her trusty mode of transportation, a 4-panel van called the Enigma Engine. Stole that off of a Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated episode. And Scarecrow, which is a stranger, will press something into my hand or leave something in a place I can find it in the beginning of a session. So functions as a clue, but isn't attached to any particular mystery until, at first. And then, living her cozy little life in Brindlewood Bay, but just like running into a lot of murders these days. What? No? So
Indeed. Thank you so much. And let's go to Ben and Maxine Abbott.
Yeah, Maxine Abbott is the owner of Maxima Fitness in Brindlewood Bay. She is a former personal trainer and occasional fitness model. She is known in fitness circles as the Deadlift Dame. And she has the move BA Baracus once per session. If Maxine or any number of her fellow mavens would suffer physical harm, you can describe how that physical harm is just narrowly avoided.
I love it. We need to give Maxine some cozy little place items because Maxine is a totally brand new character. And so let's just learn a little bit more about Maxine at this point. Ben, the assumption for Murder Mavens is that they have a partner that is deceased or no longer part of their lives, actually deceased, and that they had a life before Brindlewood Bay. They had a certain career. They might also have had kids. So what can you tell us about Maxine as far as those things go? And then the rest of us will listen, and then based off everything we know about Maxine, we'll add some stuff to your personal quarters, or not your personal quarters, your cozy little place.
Right. Well, Maxine was married for many years to Brian, who owned the company that was Maximus Fitness. But after he died tragically of a sudden brain hemorrhage, she rebranded and made it a more female-centric gym and opened up the location in Brindlewood Bay. She has two daughters, Tyra and Paige. They both live in Boston, and she still spends a lot of time at Maxima Fitness, even if she isn't quite doing the personal training anymore.
I love it. Yeah. So Mads and Amanda and myself will now think of something that we think might be found in your home based off what we know about Maxine. And so if either of you have a thought, go ahead.
You have a freestanding punching bag that you keep in your little workout corner, and it has a picture of somebody taped to it.
That's a good one.
I think you have, you still have a portfolio of all the sessions that you've done as a fitness model, from when you started all the way through your retirement, and they'll still call you for the to be representation for the more mature market. So you're still getting jobs even though you're retired.
You have some leftover containers of a branded protein shake powder that got pulled from shelves, got recalled for some reason, but you still have it. I don't know if you use it, but you have it. And if anybody has a name for that powder, I'd love to hear it. But...
blunt force. I don't know.
Blunt force. That's actually pretty good.
I like blunt force because it makes it sound like there's weed in it, which is the worst thing to put in a protein shake.
Maybe that's what it was recalled.
As it's recalled, yeah. Like you misunderstood the fine line between hemp and CBD and all the other things.
Yeah, that's one thing I forgot to mention about Miri. It's like she does have a trash bag full of pot, medicinal use only. Thank you.
I love it. Good. Okay, so we have our characters. Let's talk about this mystery. We have one session to get this mystery done, though a slightly longer session. Have yourself a merry little murder. This is one of two Christmas mysteries in the official Brindlewood Bay canon. And it is a complexity 6. And so let's talk about it now. Christmas is approaching, and that means it's time for the Great Holiday Gala. This year's gala is special because the venue, the Bel Canto Concert Hall, is celebrating its 50th anniversary. The Holly Stamp Card Company sponsors the gala, making their mark with their banners and a display of limited edition keepsakes and ornaments. The gala fills the week with choir and orchestra concerts, community dinners, board member functions, and finally, the gala ball and charity auction. Celia Domingo, who is the niece, or really great niece, I guess, of one of our mavens. I'm going to say it is Miri's great niece. Miri, Celia Domingo, who you are the great aunt of, she's sort of like part of the planning of this year's gala, and she has actually given you and the other mavens tickets and backstage passes to every aspect of the gala this week. And so, as a little bit of a sort of a paint the scene, establishing question thing, the week-long gala has something for everyone. What aspect of the gala do you each look forward to the most now that you have access to everything?
It's so hard to pick, but of course, Mary is totally into listening to the choir concerts. And then I believe that Celia is also a featured singer at one of these concerts. So, you know, she's always going to be a fan of her relation and other people that she knows performing at this gala.
One particularly nice part of a gala that Una really enjoys is the local photography. Some of the local photography groups will put up selections of their best and most evocative photos from over the past year of Brindlewood Bay. But if you look in the backgrounds of some of these photos, you can see some things. Pretty sure in the background of that one right there of the Whaling Museum, in the background there is Slender Person, the person who hangs out in the woods and is very tall and slender.
The legendary tall and slender person.
I feel like I'm just describing a bunch of my friends. Sorry, friends.
I love it. Maxine, what are you looking forward to now that you have access to the entire gala?
I think there's a charity auction where people can bid on dates with public figures from the town. And she is enjoying watching the various people practice their speeches, strut their stuff on the stage. And, you know, when asked, she'll offer some advice or how to present oneself a little better, stand up a little straighter.
I love it. Now, unfortunately, Miles Greaves, the beloved founder and owner of the Bel Canto, passed away before the celebration began. Thus, this year, his family has gathered for both the gala and his funeral. To make matters worse, and this is where the Murder Mavens are probably most interested, at the wake for Miles Greaves, Greaves's great-nephew Nathan made a drunken spectacle of himself and claimed Miles had been murdered. The next day, when the Bel Canto opened to prepare for the first of the gala concerts, Nathan was found dead on the main stage. The cause of death was an apparent blow to the back of the head. The possibility of a double murder during the biggest holiday event of the year is too juicy for the Mavens to ignore, and those all-access passes will be just the thing to help get to the bottom of what's going on. Celia, we're going to have a scene with Celia where she's going to give you kind of a rundown of what's going on with suspects and things. But of course, as she's deeply involved in the planning of the gala concert this year, she had access to both Nathan and Miles Greaves as well. So possibly she might be on the hook. So maybe what you're doing is helping her get off the hook. We'll see. But in any case, Miles Greaves passed away suddenly, and then his great nephew clearly murdered. Possible double murder, possible not. That's one of the things you have to figure out, just what's going on and who did it, who's responsible. Celia Domingo, she has a very self-deprecating, kind of personality. She's very affectionate. And she's actually a graduate of the Bel Canto Youth Choir and Musical Productions. She actually returned to town to get some time away from her fiancé after she discovered her fiancé was cheating on her with a mutual friend while she was touring with a show. She is none too pleased to discover that said fiancé is also in town right now. And so that's kind of a thing going on. And so Celia, herself, voice talent and singer, she's got the three of you there. I think we're going to open in, like, I think there's like a little like kind of park area in front of the bel canto. It's nighttime, and there's a dazzling Christmas light display that is blinking in time to the Carol of the Bells, which is playing, right? Boom, 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 boom. That's kind of going on. And from somewhere nearby, perhaps in the concert hall, singers practicing, you hear just a sudden boisterous cry of 5 golden rings. It's that. And Celia, she says, Aunt Mary, I just don't know what to do. This is all just too much. This gala means everything to me right now, and I'm so happy to be here to help make it the best it can be. I thought I was going to be able to escape all the drama by leaving the city, by coming home, but it seems drama follows me wherever I go.
I can't believe that Chaz followed you here. I mean, what was he thinking?
Well, he says he's here because he wants to fulfill his own obligations to the gala, but I think what he really wants is to try to win me back.
Do you want me to run interference so this way he doesn't bother you so much?
Well, I'm not worried about Chaz, Aunt Mary. What about the Greaveses? I mean, Nathan dead on stage.
Well, you kind of came back, and it seems that the like murders are a dime a dozen around here for some weird reason. We don't know. I don't know.
Yes, I'd forgotten that about Brindlewood Bay.
Yeah. What can we do to help? I mean, I thank you so much for the tickets. We appreciate it. I mean, there's so many things to do. But I mean, is there anything that you specifically would need help with?
Well, I mean, I don't think the local law enforcement really has a good handle on the situation. And I suspect that there's more to the story with Miles Greaves. There's something going on here, and I'm really worried that this is all going to spill over and ruin the gala. If the three of you could maybe just help me figure out like what's going on here. I mean, if we could wrap it up quickly, maybe figure out whoever killed Nathan and get them arrested and out of the way quickly, we can still have a really, really great show. And she says, if you were going to help, I would probably start with, well, I mean, I would probably start with the people who were around who could have possibly done the deed to Nathan. I was there, unfortunately, so I suppose that puts me on the suspect list. But, well...
who else was at the wake that heard him?
That's a great approach. Well, of course, there was Sam Cass, who is the managing director of the Bel Canto. Ms. Swindon, the board president of the Bel Canto, was there. Mr. Holly from the Holly Stamp Card Company was there. And she's kind of going through. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, Winston Greaves was there. That's Miles's oldest son. Alexandra Windsor Greaves, Miles's granddaughter. Teresa Horn, his daughter. And she's kind of going through. That's and David was there. You know David. David Chen is a voice talent guy. But I don't think he had anything to do with this. And Ches was there too. I think he was looking for me.
Again, I just reiterate, if you need me to run interference to make sure that he doesn't, cause you any issues.
I'm not saying that you should pin the murder on my ex-fiance who cheated on me and
not at
ruined all my dreams.
No,
but
no, it's fine. I think you're better off without him, to be honest. I really
think so too. I think so too.
Yeah.
Don't worry, dear. We'll only pin the murder on him if he did it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want to question him, I know for a fact that he's staying at that boarding house that a lot of the other people who are here in town for the gala are staying out. The Rest Your Head. The Greaveses can probably be found at their estate, and they're a few people here as well at the Bel Canto as we're getting ready for the gala. Thank you so much for your help. This is really great. I just
Mary takes Celia's hands and says, "Look, you are one of the best things that has come out of the Bel Canto. Do not forget that, okay? So this will be fine. We'll handle our part
thank
of it.
you.
Okay?"
I honestly think I should have just stayed in the city. And
All right, ladies, first things first. Do any of us have, well, of course not you, Mary, but Maxine, do either of us have a young niece or nephew who perhaps wears a lot of flannel, maybe has a young dog, a young child, that's single?
What?
I'm just saying it's Christmas and Celia is home from the big city, big breakup. Do you know what would drive Chaz absolutely up the wall?
Attention from somebody else.
And that's how those stories always work.
Yes, it
Good
is.
looking person in flannel, you know,
It doesn't
brings a little Christmas
wait.
cheer to the city girl.
Doesn't have to be flannel though. You know, David's in town. She just said that David was in town.
Ooh. Okay, so problem number 1, murders.
Yes.
Problem number 2, Celia David. If we can perhaps arrange it so that we are solving these murders and throwing Celia and David together a whole bunch of times, well, that's
She
what do
may
they
not
say?
want that though. Just
2
saying.
kisses, 1 mistletoe.
Mm. I'll have to check
5
this.
golden rings.
Oh, I don't want to meet that person. Oh my gosh. I'm going to meet that person. I know I'm going to meet that person just because. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's go.
So, how do we want to begin the investigation here? You do have a fair number of suspect leads and places you can go. Probably there are all the Bel Canto people can be found here at the Bel Canto. The Greaveses can be found at their estate, which is here in town, and there are a number of people staying at the Rest Your Head boarding house, including Chaz. And and also there's the Holly Stamp Card Company display, which is inside the Bel Canto, since they are the sponsors. And Howard Holly from the Holly Stamp Company was at the wake and had access to Nathan. So Maxine, what do you think?
Well, I think no matter what angle we take here, what problem we're trying to solve, we're going to need to get Chaz out of the way, or at least not have him high up on our suspect list. So I think we should start there. And I will remind that Maxine has a lot of chains at Maxima Fitness, and if we need to keep him, busy.
Basically,
heavy.
Mary goes up to give you a hug because it's like, that is amazing. That's a wonderful idea. Oh, maybe we can pretend that he, gets in on some kind of like photo shoot. I'm sure he's jonesing for another job. So
But that's where I'd start.
So Maxine's going to the Rest Your Head. Una, do you want to do something different, or do you want to go to the Rest Your Head?
I'm going to go help kidnap Chaz. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Miri?
I think she's going to go to the Bel Canto and just kind of she's going to speak with Sam, because Sam is, I think, the director.
He's the managing director of the Bel Canto. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, well, because he was also at the wake, I think he would give us some info, and he's
I've
maybe
actually
he
changed. Oh, sorry.
go ahead. No, it's like I was just like contemplating.
Oh, I took that moment. I'm like, there's a moment, and I jumped in too quick. I think I'm going to change my mind. Actually, I'm pretty sure Maxine can kidnap Chaz on her own. I was just looking at her picture again, and she's buff, so I think I'm going to go up to the Greaveses.
Okay, sounds good. Let's start with the Bel Canto. So, fast forward a little bit. It is still the same night. Miri, you enter the Bel Canto concert hall, the sort of grand entryway. There are enormous floral arrangements featuring poinsettias and lilies and holly. Every handrail and banister is trimmed with garland. There's actually a phalanx of towering nutcrackers that greets everyone in the lobby. Let's paint the scene, everyone. Although it has experienced renovations and improvements over the years, what details have been kept to show the Bel Canto's humble beginnings?
There's one wall in particular that all the people that have passed through would sign their names on when they were leaving for good. And it's still just as scribbled on and messy as it ever was. It's still the tradition's ongoing. It's much, much smaller names now. There's not as much space.
I think they've expanded, of course, like building on as they would for something that gets developed as the years go on and they get bigger. But I think they still have the framing arch for the original auditorium here, and you can see like the aged and worn wood. But I mean, like, they'll lovingly, like, oil it or do whatever to keep it up, and everybody sees that arch that they've passed through over the years, and it's still there.
One of the Christmas trees is actually decorated with the original glass baubles and ceramic ornaments that they had back in the first year they did this. And if you go and look at it, some of them are taped together. There's a bit of a glue showing in some places, but they've tried to carry that tradition forward.
I love it. Miri, you came looking for Sam, but I will tell you that as you're entering the concert hall, there's a number of other people, kind of roaming around. You can see the holly stamp display kind of off to the side, but you actually see a young woman, very willowy figure, YouTube perfect makeup. She's walking around and she has her phone, like she's holding her phone up and she's like talking into it and also trying to like capture like background scenes, and she's like saying, "Hey guys, I'm here at the Bel Canto, just trying to like, process the grief, process all these complicated emotions. Who knew the most wonderful time of the year would be filled with so much heartache? Sad face emoji, hashtag festive funeral, hashtag tinsel and tears. Also, don't forget to hit like and subscribe."
Oh my God.
This is Alexandra Windsor Greaves, one of the Greaveses roaming around the Bel Canto. Do you deal with her, or do you want to keep going to find Sam?
Oh gosh. I don't know whether I can deal with her. She reminds me of like a couple of people that I had in the choir before I retired. Probably one of the reasons why I retired. If it's okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try to look for Sam.
As you walk by, she says, she kind of like, she's like getting you in the shot, and she's like, "Oh, look at this little old lady. She's just so like cozy and Christmas cute. This is the kind of thing to fill my heart with joy, to replace the sadness and grief that is currently there." Hashtag blessed.
As she
Meanwhile.
passes out of the frame, it's like, okay.
We'll come back to this. Maxine, you were at the Rest Your Head. Now, the Rest Your Head is actually, it's a boarding house. And when you get there, there are performers and stagehands and gala attendees even coming and going, mingling amiably over hot cider dispensed in the lobby. Boarding house employees are dashing back and forth with stacks of fresh towels and sheets, luggage, anything else that folks might need during their stay. Everyone paint the scene. While the boarding house has been a convenient stay for those performing or attending shows at the Bel Canto, it also started as a smaller bed and breakfast. What gives you the impression they're doing their best to maintain that cozy, comfortable vibe?
They have a little Christmas tree set up in all of the little boarding rooms that like with a lot of boarding rooms, there's bunk beds that sleep a number of people, but there's a little tree in there and a little gift under the tree. There's nothing in it. It's just a little box that's wrapped for all of the same number of bunk beds in each little room.
I think the furniture, instead of being like the hotel matched set kind of thing, it's more of like a mismatch of very comfy chairs, like stuffed sofas, and just like little easy chairs that people can go into of all shapes and sizes for their boarders, which could be all shapes and sizes.
I think instead of going with the easier to clean laminate floor or hardwood, they still have the nice plush carpet from it's not the exact same carpet, but the same style. It's just nice and homey. You can take your shoes off, walk in your socks, and it's just nice and warm.
Maxine, you see kind of like off in one corner with people like people kind of going back and forth in front of him, another person on their phone. This time a very good looking man, kind of an aquiline nose, well cut hair, very streamlined physique, just like magazine model good looking. He's like on his phone, and this is definitely your guy, because he says, Celia, can't we just talk? I mean, look, I know, right? I know. I just thought being honest was the right thing to do. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? We're supposed to be honest with each other. No, I'm not. I didn't follow you to Brindlewood Bay. I'm here because I agreed a year ago to help out with the gala. I'm here fulfilling my obligations. She clearly hung up on him. She puts her phone away. This is Chaz Oppenfieri, Celia's ex-fiance. What do you do?
I think Maxine is going to consider for a moment and then just look the man up and down, give him a couple moments to kind of soak in her attention. Then she'll approach and she'll say, excuse me, you look like a very active young man. Am I correct?
He's like, yeah, I try to stay in shape, healthy body, healthy mind, all that.
Of course.
Namaste.
Of course. Oh, yes. Namaste. Well, as it just so happens, and she'll pull out a business card, I am the owner of a fitness facility here in town. You may have heard of my late husband's Maximus Fitness. Well, we've rebranded, and we're thinking about opening our facility up to men. It's a radical idea, but
are you looking for someone to sort of to be on like local ad copy or something like that? Like
that's exactly it. We have a nice facility, but unfortunately, we're trying to attract a younger clientele than what we normally get.
He's kind of like puffing himself up, and like he's sort of like casually pushed his sleeve up to show off his bicep and tricep. He's like, yeah, that's great. I would I'd be very interested in helping out with that. I work out at least 6 times a week, and I used to do a little bit of physical training myself, and he's kind of going on and on, and he's like, I'm a little distracted right now. I'm here to help out with the gala like everyone here at the boarding house, but we should definitely get together after that's over. Yeah.
Well, actually, I shouldn't need more than an hour and a half of your time if you're available now. We're just down the street.
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, I was trying to reconnect with my former fiance. We're having a bit of an issue right now. Merry Christmas. But
well,
yeah, that's not going anywhere. So
some moving that body is the best thing you can do to clear your head and put yourself in a better place for these tense discussions.
It's like, right, yeah. Well, okay, so what do you need me to do?
Well, why don't you grab your bag? I assume you have gym clothes in there, and we'll just head out, and you can, use some of the equipment. I'll take some pictures, and we'll discuss terms.
Yeah, sure, great. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely use about half an hour on the treadmill anyway, just to clear my mind. Have you ever, like, you said you're your husband used to be involved in this business with you? Did you and him ever have fights? Did you ever have any like problems or issues?
Oh, of course, dear. Every couple has fights. It's normal.
Ah, like he's like, the thing is, like the thing with Rowan, I was drunk and I was bored, and like frankly, it wasn't any good for either of us. And I opened up to Celia, that's my fiance, Celia. I told her everything that happened between Rowan and me because, well, I thought it was like the honest, loving thing to do. And now here I am on the naughty list, banished to the boarding house where we're both in town to help out with the gala. I hope we can patch things up. I love that
Oh,
girl. I really do.
well, maybe all you need is a bit of time and heavy things to throw around.
And a Christmas miracle.
Maybe that too.
And he gets in your truck or whatever to go with you. Let's go to Una. Una, what are you doing?
Heading up to the Graveses to
That's right.
get an idea of what they might know about what happened.
Yeah, the grieving Greaveses. The Greaves estate. It is the Greaves family home is a stately place just outside of town. It gives the impression of old money, rooms filled with antique furniture, cabinets stocked with pricey liquor and fine china. And as you sort of enter the hall, they have the house open as like kind of an open house holiday thing. As you step inside the hall, you see there's the grand portraiture looming over. There are a few people milling around. The Greaveses have the place opened up. Let's paint the scene. Despite the sort of impression of old money, the Greaveses are not the original owners of the property. What do you see that indicates this is not the Greaves' ancestral home?
Carved in the mahogany over the doors is a family sigil, and the initials aren't anything to do with Greaves or G.
They're still in the midst of trying to get this particular estate to what their aesthetic is as opposed to what the previous aesthetic is. So the mishmash of items that you see around, like, bespeak an actual organized taste. So instead of being, it's like, very, very like Versailles type of esque old antique, but then they're trying to move it more into Art Deco. So the different pieces that are around just kind of seem very confusing.
It's called the Kraus house.
I love it. Good. Krauses don't have any need for it anymore, that's for sure. I think when you step inside, Una, you can pick out the Greaveses right away. They are the ones that are there anyway. There's just two. They are kind of standing at a little table, like kind of greeting people as they come in, and it's a man and a woman. The man is Winston Greaves, who was Miles's oldest son and Nathan's uncle. And he's a well-known figure in town, actually. You would recognize him. And then there's Teresa Horn, who is Miles's daughter and Nathan's mother. And Teresa especially seems like she's like there against her will. I mean, her son was just found dead, and now here she is doing like greeting duty at the estate, right? She looks like she's like clearly been crying, but Winston doesn't seem so upset, all things considered. What do you do?
I'm going to go to the mother of the deceased and pass on my condolences.
Yeah, Teresa Horn, she's wearing a big baggy Christmas sweater and comfortable flat-soled shoes, and her hair is, kind of in an uncomplicated bob, we'll say. And she'll look up at you and she'll say, "Oh, welcome to the open house. Merry Christmas. How are?" And she goes to shake her hand. She seems like she doesn't know what to do.
I take her hand in both of mine and just sort of pull it to my chest. I am really, truly very sorry for your loss. What a horrible thing, especially at this time of year.
Yes.
We all must come to our end in various grisly ways, but that's particularly disturbing situation that happened. I truly hope that wherever your son is now in the void, that he's not frightened anymore.
She kind of pulls her hand away and says, "Is that supposed to be comforting?"
Yes.
Well, I hope you never have to go to work at a hospital or a hospice. I don't think you really have much of a bedside manner, ma'am.
Una was a veterinarian.
Indeed. She says, "Well, enjoy your tour of the house."
Teresa, is it?
Yes,
Your house is very beautiful.
it is what it is.
I'm really sorry to see that you're stuck, well, the sort of Walmart greeter of things.
She says, "Well, we all have our part to play. We all have a role to play, though certainly certainly my father didn't seem to think that I had much of a role to play in the business when he was alive, but now that he's gone, I have to step in and pull my weight."
Just like a man to underestimate us women, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. That'll be enough to trigger the information move or the meddling move. Go ahead and roll with presence.
Check my cozy little place. It's all weird stuff. Okay. Oh, well, I don't think I need it because I rolled a 10.
10. Nice. Very good. We'll come back to this. Miri, you make your way to the backstage area of the Bel Canto, looking for Sam Cass. Back here, there are giant-sized set decorations. There's a teddy bear with a big red bow that towers overhead, enormous gift boxes tied with ribbon, and a big toy train. You see a seamstress is kind of back there busy letting out a costume, and you can hear the choir in a small practice room. You can hear them practicing in the back, the occasional 5 golden rings. and there's lots of people just like who are here like to help out to get the gala ready, right? The gala is not officially opened yet. Mm-hmm. Everyone looking around, how can we tell that almost everyone back here is from out of town? They're not from Brindlewood Bay.
Most people are quite young, under 40, and we don't have a proportion of youth that high.
There is a naive and unaffected look in their eyes. You spend enough time in Brindlewood Bay and things happen to you.
God. Like the fashions are all different. I mean, depending on where they're from. I mean, like, they're wearing different things for the holiday or maybe just for the weather. And it's not like they're all prepared for, specific Brindlewood Bay weather or events.
Nice, good. I love it. You probably know Sam Cass, I'm imagining, Miri, and you will see him back here. He is, let's describe him real quick. He's described as having a belly like a bowl full of jelly, a big white beard, very, very kindly man in general. He's seen it all at the Bel Canto, and he takes his responsibilities very seriously. But he relaxes when he's around friends, and I think that's important to know here, especially if you were to grab a mug of mulled wine from up front and offer it to him.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think there's provided mulled cider, mulled wine, like, whatever comfy drink that there is out front. And of course, she would have grabbed like, a couple of mugs of it to bring back to specifically talk with Sam for that reason.
He sees you and he says, Miri, so good to see you. How are you?
Good seeing you too. Here you go.
He's like, thank you, thank you. Are you excited about your solo this week?
Oh my gosh, it's been a while, so we're hoping this is gonna be great.
He's like, I have to say, I thought the idea of adding the freestyle rap, the Christmas rap in the middle was a really interesting one. I think our patrons are going to enjoy that quite a bit.
Well, it's like all the different things that you can listen to these days. I mean,
It'll appeal to the kids, won't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what we need.
I think so too. Too bad about all this business with the Greaveses, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you were there. I mean, did he really say that weird thing?
He made quite a spectacle of himself. It was well, he was drunk, clearly, but he well, he had a lot to say. I probably shouldn't go out and say anything else. He says it's really none of my business. I just have a job to do. Got to focus. The show must go on and all that. Hey, Trent, please make sure the lighting director has his list of cues for Tuesday's performance. Sarah, make sure the volunteers have their breaks scheduled during the week. Thank you. He kind of looks at you and says, it all kind of works out in the end, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta let go of certain things. You can't hold on to expectations or results for too long. Otherwise, it's like then you're going to hear things that you may not expect, and it gets you a little bit wrangled. And then I think at that point we hear like
the truth.
we hear like the five golden
rings. Yeah. It's getting more frantic and shrill as it goes. Like, it's almost like torture.
Yeah. For her, yes, it is.
What are you gonna do to get him to open up, if at all?
Well, I mean, like, she's going to drink her mulled wine, mulled cider, and then just kind of like encourage him to do same, and then just kind of get on to talking to him about like how he's doing, like with all of the arrangements, and yeah, I mean, just trying to work out or work towards, like, talking about, like, finding Nathan on the stage.
I love it.
So.
Good. It's great. Go ahead and make the meddling move with presence just to see if he lets something slip.
Oh boy, let's see. Do I have presence? That's the question. Of course not. Oh, don't need it. 10.
Nice. Got 2 10s on the table. Christmas dice are very, very, very kind tonight. Let's go over to Maxine for a minute. So Maxine, you're in the truck with this very good looking cheating man. And he's there with you, and he's kind of like, oof, it's cold. I forgot how cold it gets here in Massachusetts.
Oh, you get used to it.
Do you, though?
Maybe you just need to get the blood flowing a little bit. Warm you right
That's
up.
right. Yes. Get pumped up.
Speaking
it's kind of weird
blood
doing
flowing.
a photo shoot at night, right? I mean, it's kind of strange.
The lighting in the gym is always excellent.
Oh, right. Yeah, good. Okay, cool. It's like, if I didn't know any better, I'd think you were trying to kidnap me or something.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I don't pay my hostages.
It's like, I can see that. You look like you could probably I don't know. Well, you'd have a pretty decent shot at manhandling me into a big Santa-sized sack if you wanted to.
Yes. But speaking of blood flowing and all that business at the Bel Canto, it's just terrible, isn't it?
I know, right? Like, yeah, it's a lot. It's like, man, murder, death. It's wild.
Well, that part you also get used to here, but just the proximity of it to Christmas, it's galling.
Right. Well, I mean, Christmas is Christmas is all about death, right? No, that's Easter. I don't know. I don't know anything about Christmas or the holidays. I just have a job to do. and apparently
Of
another
course, of
job to
course.
do.
Well, hopefully this one won't
I
be
wish
too
I'd known,
taxing.
or I would have like done something to prepare. I would have like not drank water all day or something, you know.
Well, we try to keep things realistic, help people manage their expectations. No one's going to walk out of here looking like uh that actor who played Tarzan, whose name I can't remember.
Do you know that I intentionally, when my mouth is closed, I don't let my teeth come apart in my mouth? Because if you hold your teeth together, it makes your jawline look much more defined.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure what to do with that, Chaz, but perhaps you wouldn't mind parting your very defined jaw to tell me, did you know anything about the victims?
Make the meddling move with I'd say composure, because you're actually kind of like doing this under um uh, um dubiously immoral, or in a way that is dubiously dubious. What you got?
A 6.
A 6. Very interesting. I'm going to give you a cut to commercial. I'll change your roll to a 10 plus if after we get back from break, all of the mavens are featured in a like Christmas video, a Brindlewood Bay Christmas video. That's going to take the place of our cozy vignettes, but it's like a little like 3-minute long video they're going to play in the middle of the episode. And it'll feature your mavens like lip syncing to some kind of Christmas song. Do you take it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's take a 5-minute break. Think about what song your maven is going to be singing and what the scene is going to be. And if you have a shadow in the garden marked, consider that as well. All right. See you in 5. So the Brindlewood Bay Holiday Special has cut to commercial to show a special Christmas medley featuring the Murder Mavens. Who wants to start?
I can start. I haven't actually thought about it, so it's going to be winging it. We see Una. She is wearing a very bright and bobbly Christmas cardigan. It's got all kinds of Christmas trees and stars, and there's like a reindeer and Santa's on there. There's a lot going on this cardigan. It's not ugly though. It's great. The setting we see them because she is with Verna, her maybe girlfriend from who is the owner of the Twilight area crystals and things. And Verna's playing the ukulele while Una rings some jingle bells and sings a wonderful song about Brindella, the Brindlewood Bay Christmas hag, who on Christmas Eve rises from the frozen depths to steal away naughty children and bring them back under the water where they will forever live. It's really jolly, though.
The Brindlewood Bay Christmas hag.
Brindella. Everyone knows about Brindella, right?
I love it. I love it.
I'll add
All
that
right.
to the
Maxine, go ahead.
We see Maxine with a younger man walking, looking sad as the familiar jingle of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer starts. But the lyrics are changed to Grandpa Got Run Over by a Reindeer. And over the course of the video, we see Maxine go to the gym, start lifting some weights, and always wearing the Maxima Fitness t-shirt, of course. But by the end of it, she is in a full-on brawl with the reindeers and Santa, getting her revenge until she triumphantly throws the sleigh over the top of Maxima Fitness, turns to smile at the camera, and flexes.
So beautiful. Oh my God.
I love it. I love it. So good.
I think
Mary.
I think at this point that Miri is in a place where she's playing the piano and she's recording this and it's lit, But then as she starts singing, you notice that the lights go down one by one until somehow in the window is a candle that's lit. And as she sings, the candle flame starts going sideways as she sings, "Oh, little town of Brindlewood, how still we see thee die. Above thy deep and darkened sleep, the screaming stars do cry. Yet in thy blood streets shineth the eldritch horrible light. The hopes and fears of all the tears are met in thee this night." And the candle blows out into complete darkness.
Bravo, bravo. If Brindlewood Bay ever gets made into an actual TV show, these 3 scenes have to happen. Okay. Let's go back to our scenes proper. I owe you clues. 3 clues, in fact. So let's get those going now. Una. Teresa she's, trying to talk to you while also dealing with people coming in for the open house. And at one point, someone in the open house starts like messing with a vase that they should not be messing with. And she's like, "Oh, excuse me, hold on." And she's going to like go to that. She just cuts away from you to deal with that person. But she had something in her hand and she absentmindedly sets it down on the little table as she steps away. It's a little velvet box. Do you look at it?
Of course, yes. If she
Winston
forgot
is
something important, I got to open it up and make sure that she gets it back, right?
Winston is also distracted, and so you're able to pop it open, and there is an enormous emerald ring in this little velvet box. It's probably worth tens of thousands of dollars, and it has a little note that says payment in full. Whether she was paying someone or she was paid by someone, who knows, but that is the deal. She'll quickly realize that she set it down and she'll kind of rush back to where you were at. I assume you kind of like,
Nope, I hold it up and this is beautiful.
she's like, "Yes," and she grabs it. She's like, "Yes, indeed." Thank you. I didn't mean to misplace that.
Oh no.
Um,
I wouldn't want you to. It's gorgeous. This thing must cost I don't even know, half this house.
$65,000. Yeah, well, not half the house, but a lot of money.
Wow. You must have I can't remember. Did we mention that she was married?
I mean, no, we haven't. I think she's. Let me look. I might actually say. No, she raised Nathan by herself after his father died in a car accident.
You must have quite the secret admirer.
It's like, well, perhaps. And she says, "Enjoy your tour of the house."
I'm sure I will. Thank you.
And there's still Winston to chat with, and you can also just roam around the house and investigate as well if you want. What do you
Yeah,
do?
I'm going to take the invitation to tour the house as an invitation to poke around.
Yeah, that sounds good. Great. We'll come back to that. Miri, I owe you a clue from Sam. What was the last thing you said to him? I don't remember.
Yeah, basically to say how terrible it was that, how Nathan was found on the stage, on the main stage.
It was like, well, yes, it was really horrible. And tell you what, do you know how hard it is to get a biohazard cleanup crew out on the week of Christmas? It's very, very difficult.
I wasn't even aware that there was a biohazard team, to be honest.
Well, we didn't have any luck. I had to clean up that poor boy's brains off the stage myself.
Oh, you poor thing. And she plies him with more mulled cider and mulled wine.
He's like, "Ho, ho, ho, I tell you, it was quite a sight." And he drinks the cider. He says, Another funny thing too, though, that I noticed. Well, he had something, well, in his hands.
What?
Yeah, that was a weird thing. And he's like, well, maybe it's nothing. It's
What did
probably
you
nothing.
find?
Well, he was clutching a contract.
What? For what? Whom?
It was a contract for the Bel Canto. I think the Greaveses were getting ready to sell, or maybe trying to sell, or someone made an offer. It wasn't signed, but I wonder if that has anything to do with what happened to Nathan and possibly even Miles. What if someone killed Miles too? Oh, this is all too much.
It just sounds incredible. I mean,
At
two
this point,
deaths.
David
Yeah.
Chen comes up to you. You
Oh.
recognize David as well.
Yes.
He is the voice talent manager. He's actually Celia's best friend. He's wearing comfy cardigan. He has a comfy cardigan, khakis, and very shiny wingtip shoes. And like Celia, he tries to return home to Brindlewood Bay every year, but he is usually busy managing his client, Kath Spector. She is a bit of a handful, and in fact, you can hear him like he's like on the phone with Kath as he's like walking up to you. He's like, "Yes, it's well in hand, well in hand." He turns it off. He says, "Miri, hey, how are you?"
I'm fine, David. How are you? And then she turns back to Sam and says, like, get some rest with this,
Right,
mulled
right.
wine.
Yes, he kind of goes and he starts hollering at someone about something.
Mm-hmm.
David says, "Are you excited about your solo this week?"
I am. I mean, it's such an honor to be able to, do this for the gala. I
I
mean,
have to say, I was a little skeptical at first, changing Beyonce's single ladies to be jingle ladies, but it's I think it could work.
it totally can work. I mean, so long as the lyrics are there and, well, my breath holds up, I think we'll be fine. Whew. Been working out with Maxine, so I think I'm prepared.
Right. Well, oh, Maxine. Oh, is this a wait? Are the murder mavens on the case right now?
Why do you ask?
Because of the murder that happened here the other
Well,
day.
I mean, it's rather public. So even if we were, I mean, we just happen to be on the spot, kind of.
He's like, yeah. Have you? How's Celia? Have you seen her?
I have. She's a bit agitated. I
I can
mean,
imagine. Yeah, I can imagine.
have you seen her recently?
Well, I mean, we had coffee yesterday, but she's been so busy, and then with the Nathan and everything, we and Kath, and just we get so busy. Yeah, yeah, she's you know how she is.
Yeah, but do you? I mean, you used to sing together in those duets and such for,
Yeah, we used
in the
to
shows.
duet in the take skits at Bel Canto. That was a
Sure.
lot of fun, taking those
Right.
old songs and making little scenes with them. But
Mhm.
I've kind of given up on performance stuff. Kath keeps me pretty busy, and I got to stay ahead of the game. In any case, Celia, she has her own stuff. What's this about? Miri, are you?
So I'm just like letting you know, it's like her ex-fiance is in town for
Wait,
whatever
X?
reason.
What happened
Yes.
with her and Ches?
Oh, Ches is a big blankety blank blank, and yeah, cheated on her. So yeah,
He cheated on Celia?
yeah, imagine that, right? Complete
Ah,
idiot.
yeah, I can't even begin to imagine that. Who did he cheat on her with?
I
What
don't
did you
know.
hear?
I mean, she wasn't specific about the name, but I mean, somebody that he was in a show with while she was touring. Huh. Mm.
Oh, huh. Well, yeah, well, relationships get really complicated.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do. but you would expect
Well, it wasn't me, just to be clear.
being like cheating on Celia with chess, or you
Right.
actually
It's, I mean, yes, Ches and I did do that. Ches and I have performed together in Boston before, but it was not me that Ches was allegedly fooling around with. Just so we're really clear about that.
okay. Good to know. That's good to know. But maybe Celia could do with some friendly, you know. Well, I mean, you did have coffee, but I mean, like maybe just a little bit of a friendly chat, just to keep in touch with friends in this trying time,
right,
per se.
We have to talk about her solo too, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, sure. I mean, not a problem.
I know Christmas is about the birth of Christ and everything, but I'm not fully convinced that Like a Virgin qualifies as a Christmas song. Just to,
you have to think out of the box. I mean, like just again, I think, if Miles were here, I mean, like he'd probably be all about it, to be able to expand the Bel Canto's horizons. I mean,
yeah, I know. Yeah. He will be missed.
you
okay,
again,
well, I gotta
right?
go.
Okay. All right.
And he takes off. What do you do then?
Where did he come from? Did I see?
He came from the little small practice room where the choir is practicing 5 golden rings still.
I'm gonna take a little risk here. I mean, like just not to necessarily, want to listen to that. However, I'm just gonna be curious to see if anything is in that practice room that he came out of.
Sounds good. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Maxine, let's get you your clue that you're getting from Mr. Oppenfieri. You were just kind of like generally talking about like, oh, murders, right?
I asked if he knew anything about what had occurred.
It's like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, I might know a little something, but I mean, I might be able to be helpful to you.
If I were to
no, it's not. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's probably nothing. But a few days ago, before Miles Greaves died, I overheard 3 generations of Greaveses having an argument about a buyout offer made for the Bel Canto. It was Miles and Winston and Nathan, and they were all really having it out. It sounded pretty intense. I just got to town and I was kind of trying to find Sam and David, and well, I don't know. I kind of walked into the middle of it, and then I left.
Well, that is fascinating, but oh, so sad, so sad. Speaking of sad, the young lady with whom you had a dalliance, she wouldn't be still about, would she?
Rowan?
Yes.
I need to figure out if Rowan is a man or a woman. I was under the impression it was a man, but Rowan, it's a guy's name, right? Or can it be both?
It can be both.
It's
Oh,
very
both?
non-gendered. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay. I'm going to say it's a guy. And he says, well, it wasn't a young lady that I had a dalliance with.
Oh.
That's
oh,
another
well,
reason why Celia should just chill out about all this. It wasn't even another woman.
That seems like an important distinction to you.
I think so.
Okay. Well, interesting. Well, we are here. So why don't we'll get you in. You can avail yourself of our changing room. Just ignore the it is a ladies' changing room right now, but we will expand.
Right, sure. Yeah, thanks. Okay. Uh, this is all really where's like the lighting people and the camera people? It's just there's nobody else in here.
Oh, well, it's just me. This is rather spur of the moment. You
I feel
understand?
like I'm gonna go to the changing room and someone with like a like a turkey carving knife is gonna jump out and stab me or something. This is what would happen in this part of the movie right now.
Oh, that's ridiculous. We don't have any carving knives at the gym.
Right. Well, okay.
Watch out for the barbells, though. They are heavy.
Why did you ask about Rowan earlier?
Oh, just trying to be a sympathetic ear and thought it would be good to have information.
Okay. Does this have something to do with Celia? Do you know Celia?
Oh, just in passing, in the way that everyone here knows everyone.
Right. Okay. Well,
Go get changed. I'll get the lights on and plug in the treadmill.
right. Well, yeah, I'll do that. And he goes to get changed. What do you do then?
She's going to text the other ladies that he'll be preoccupied for a bit, and then walk out, locking the door behind her.
Very good. So I gather there's no fire escape or fire exit.
Oh, well. Sorry, she's going to lock the changing room.
The changing room door. Oh, get it.
And then walk out.
Yeah. Fabulous. All right. Let's cut over to Una. So Una, you're roaming around the estate. There are a few other Brindlewood Bayers roaming around. You see June Willoughby. She's there. She's dressed in she has this like kind of ridiculous like kind of Christmas getup that's like a red velvet coat and like a white like kind of like muff, like a white muff and like a big like fur hat, kind of thing. And she's like, Una.
June, darling, you must be toasting in that wearing that sort of get up inside.
Well, we suffer for fashion, don't we, dear? Some of us at least.
Well, I certainly don't suffer. I wear comfortable things.
Oh, yes, that's
I have no one to
very
impress.
obvious. Isn't this wonderful? These old houses.
I haven't been up here since, well, the whole thing with rest in peace.
Rest in peace, yeah. Well, right, yeah. Well, the Krauses, they were hardly ever here anyway. They rarely made it down.
Certainly is quite a bit different. Are you family friends with the Graveses?
Well, I try to stay connected to all of the old important families in town. I consider that something of a responsibility, considering my position in Brindlewood Bay society.
So less like friends and more like networking.
I just like to check in and make sure everyone is doing what they need to do.
Oh, Junie, never change.
Let me guess, you're here investigating Miles and Nathan's death.
Of course, that's what we do. God forbid the actual, police do their job.
Well, God forbid we just let sleeping dogs lie, so we stop bringing this untoward attention to the town. But, that's just me.
Are you suggesting that you would rather have all of these deaths just be mysterious and have all those TV shows coming in? Oh, 800 mysterious deaths in 1 year, not solved.
I just think whenever you start digging around, you might uncover things that are best left buried. That's all.
Oh, Junie, now you're starting to sound like you have something to hide.
Why are you calling me Junie?
just seems more friendly.
Yes, that's one way of interpreting it. Ah, Uni.
See? Isn't it fun?
No.
Now we're basically friends.
And she says, well, I have to finish this glass of eggnog and continue making my rounds. If you figure out who did it, be sure to let us all know.
I'm sure we will. We always get our man or
Yes.
woman.
Hmm. Happy holidays.
You too. I'm gonna like watch her like a hawk and see where she goes next.
Yeah. And she's just wanders off. I don't think she's relevant to the case.
Oh no, I want her to know that I don't like her.
Oh yeah, well that's that.
And if I can pin a murder on her, I will.
Yeah, for sure.
Only if she's done it, of course.
Well, so what do you do after you're done with June?
I would like to go and see if I can peek around in the room that Nathan would have been staying in.
Okay, sounds good. You can probably climb the stairs and go to the rooms and figure that out. Miri, are you still chatting with David? Did David go off?
David went away, but then I went
Yeah.
into the practice
Oh, you're in
room.
the practice rooms, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as soon as you like cross the threshold, 5 golden rings.
Oh, she has to take a big deep breath for that one. Oh.
And and you get there and it's just like a single singer there. He says, there, I think I got it. And he walks past you, leaving you in the choir practice room by yourself.
Yeah, she's going to look around because then now she's puzzled because David works for Keth Spector, who's the voice talent or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's not here. And why would he be in this room with that guy?
Who knows? We'll take a look around.
Yeah, definitely.
Make the meddling move with, I would say reason is fine.
Okay, reason. I got 1. All right. Okay, that is 4 + 5 + 1, 10.
There you go. Dice are very kind today. We'll come back to that. Maxine, once you're done kidnapping Chaz, then what do you do?
I think we're going to need to figure out who the bel canto was potentially being sold to. So maybe it's time to go visit the old Kraus house again and try and chat with Winston.
Yeah, it sounds good. You can make your way over there. Winston. I think by this point, the open house is kind of wrapping up, though Una is still crawling around upstairs. But Winston, he's kind of saying goodbye to some people. He is a very puffed up man, literally and figuratively, and he has a famously sort of snobbish attitude in Brindlewood Bay. Most of his life has been spent preparing to take over the bel canto from his father. And he says, yes, I know. Thank you. It's very sad. He will be missed. But your presence here certainly helps lift the gloom a little bit. That's it. Good night. Merry Christmas. We'll see you at the gala. And he looks at you and he says, oh, man, that open house is just wrapping up.
Oh, of course. I just didn't want to let it pass without expressing my condolences for your nephew.
Oh yes, my nephew and my father. It's been quite a week in the Greaves household.
Yes, of course.
My father was adored by all of us, to be sure. He always knew every singer and stagehand name, which I myself have taken pains to do as well. I have to make sure the business keeps running just as he ran it. If it's not broken, why fix it, right?
Of course, of course. But as a fellow business owner,
Hmm.
uh,
Oh, yes, you run that gym, the all
I
ladies
do.
gym. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Every business has its ups and downs. Has the Bel Canto been doing well?
Make the meddling move with presence.
8.
8. He says, well, you know, it's the Bel Canto is an institution in Brindlewood Bay, and we're very lucky to have the patronage of the Holly Stamp Card Company for our various events throughout the year. I myself am a big fan of the Easter egg hunt that we do at the Bel Canto and the other, holiday related things. Are you looking to invest in the Bel Canto? I'm certainly I'm certainly happy to find new investors, change of the guard and things like that now that my father has passed away.
Of course, I am, shall we say, looking to diversify my portfolio.
We have a splendid little spot in the entry hall where we can put a plaque with your name on it.
Oh, excellent. That would be lovely. Perhaps not my name, but the gym. Build the community ties with us business owners.
Right. Yes. Good. Well, right.
Have there been many offers for patronship for the Bel Canto?
This is, well, if I'm being perfectly honest, the Bel Canto, we've had a bit of a run of bad luck in recent years.
Oh, that's such a shame. It's just a institution to the town.
Yes, I know it is. This is perhaps, well, perhaps I can ask you some advice, business owner to business owner.
Of course.
I was going through my father's things in his office, and I discovered that there was a checkbook in his desk with a number of missing checks that are not accounted for in the ledger. Why might someone do something like that?
Well, that is not necessarily troubling. They could be predated and given for installments, perhaps, or perhaps someone stole some checks. But that's ridiculous.
That's completely absurd. That's your clue, by the way. He says, I hope you won't think this too forward. But well, are you are you busy right now?
Oh, not particularly.
How do you fancy a one of the well, maybe we could go get a little get a hot drink or something together.
Oh, well, uh that sounds lovely. We have a lot of business we can discuss.
Yes. My father wouldn't have approved of me engaging in social interactions with someone who owns a gym, but he's dead now, right?
And gyms are far more than just a place to pick up and put down heavy items. They're social centers and opportunities to better oneself.
Yes, I gather as much. Well, let's go somewhere and find something hot and liquid.
Sounds lovely.
Good. I'll drive.
Okay.
And he sort of takes you down the lane to his car. I'm going to give you a condition. You are marked by Winston Greaves. Marked for love. Miri, I never gave you your scarecrow clue. I'm going to give it to you now. That weirdo who's just practicing 12 Days of Christmas by himself in the practice room. As he walks past you, he presses something into your hand. It's a crown made of holly. He says, "This may be of interest to you." And he turns and keeps going.
Thank you. She puts it in her pocket and then continues to look around. Did he leave any music here? Just out of curiosity, she's going to look at the practice stand.
If you'd like, yeah. I mean, I owe you a clue, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did it right. Yeah.
Yeah, you rolled, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of the music. That's a great idea. There is some music there. There's some sheet music. Tear-stained sheet music. For I'll Be Home for Christmas. The last page missing.
Definitely wasn't singing that. Oh my gosh.
Una, you make your way to Nathan's room. Let's paint the scene, everyone. Looking around Nathan's room, how can we tell that Nathan was a finance bro?
Oh, he has a whole shelf of those like personal improvement books. Not really self-help, but they're books like You're Already Awesome, Now How to Be Awesome and Rich. Books like that.
Bunch of Jordan Peterson books, probably.
Oh God, yes. Ew, I hate him. Glad he's dead.
Wait. Oh, wait. I was like, Jordan Peterson's not dead, is he? I was about to celebrate. No, Nathan is definitely dead, we think. Yeah, sorry. Ben, Mads, how do we know he's a finance bro?
He has on his desk not 2 or 3, but 8 monitors set up in a grid with stock tickers and crypto wallet things. It's just, and they're still going.
Yeah. Ew, gross. And he's got all those like finance or organizational magazines, like with the big guys on the cover, like of Inc. and Forbes and Entrepreneur, like right on the top.
Good. I love it. Well, so what do you do, Una?
I think I have a little bit of a scrunched up nose and distaste looking around at this horrific scene. But I want to go to his computer and see what one of the last things he was doing would be. Just kind of sneaking around, seeing what he was up to.
I like that. You can make the meddling move with reason, see if you can find anything, see if the computer's unlocked.
I would like to use an item in my cozy little place. I have all these metal pieces from a UFO. And I think I'm going to, they're magnetized in different ways, but not normal magnetism. It's weird Martian magnetism. So I'm going to take out those little metal pieces from the UFO and just put them around the computer to see if that might help with my meddling. Short out all the bad stuff and Google search the good stuff. I'm not sure.
I don't know how computers work.
Yeah. Especially UFO
UFO metal.
computers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can go ahead and roll with advantage.
Beautiful. That gives me a 12.
Nice. We'll come back to that in a bit. And let's just figure out where everyone is in time and space. Miri, you just found those tear-stained sheet music. Maxine, you are having a hot nog with Winston Greaves. And Una, you are going through the computer. That's good. Let me take a look at, I'm going to take a look at the clues we have so far. Got a fair number of clues already, actually. And take a look at some of the other details on the mystery. Okay, good. Picking back up with Una. Your void clue first. Carolers are on the front lawn of the Greaves estate. You see a car pulling away. As you look out the window, you're pretty sure Maxine is in the car with Winston Greaves. They pull away, and Winston waves at these carolers who don't wave back. They're all wearing long, dark robes with cowls. And they begin singing The Little Drummer Boy. But it's not really singing. It's more just like atonal chanting. I play my drum for thee. Parum pum pum pum. Right. That's what's happening. We'll come back to that. So Maxine. Winston. He says, we could just go back to the bel canto, I suppose.
Oh, that would be lovely. I've so enjoyed watching everything get set up. And
Yes,
people go
yes,
about
it's the gala is quite an affair. I think that it being a week-long affair is a little excessive, but you know, you can't. I believe very strongly that if you give the people too much of a good thing, then they keep wanting more of a good thing. It's best to dole it out in smaller doses, you see.
Yes, too much of a good thing would be a bad thing.
Indeed, or at least a thing.
Certainly, certainly. And did your father happen to share this opinion?
Well, my father didn't really have opinions because he didn't have to express things as opinions. What he said was the law. He had declarations and facts, we'll say, that the rest of us had to abide by, which I'm happy to do, of course, because, well, I mean, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right?
Well, sometimes things that aren't broke still aren't good.
He says, yes, well, I suppose that could be true. It's, well, this is not exactly how I thought my family would be spending the holidays, but we can't let little, little picadillos like sudden deaths and murders slow things down. We have to just keep going. We have to keep going, and we have to do what is necessary for the business. Mr. Holly's been very, very supportive.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that another business owner in town isn't a complete heartless Scrooge.
You should talk to Mr. Holly. I'm sure that he'd be willing to. I don't know. I'm not sure what the intersection is between Christmas ornaments and greeting cards. I'm not sure what the intersection is with gyms, but I'm sure there's, well, the Holly Stamp Card Company. I mean, most of our 21st century holidays we enjoy were created by them for the purpose of selling greeting cards and ornaments. I'm sure they can come up with something for gyms. Seems like
certainly,
a sort of pre-Valentine's Day thing,
Oh, of course, and I do love the little movies they put out now.
Oh, yes, yes. The Holly Stamp channel, it is remarkable, really. Just good wholesome family entertainment, I find.
Well, I know my family wasn't exactly wholesome. How about the Greaves?
He says, "Oh, we are the very definition of wholesome, apart from the murder. It's we are good rural people. We have not been infected by the cynicism and political liberalism of the city. No, we are here maintaining our traditional values."
And what a delight it is to have you doing that here for us.
Oh, yes, yes.
Let's get something warm in you, shall we?
He's like, "Of course. We could both use something warm inside of us, I imagine." And he pulls into the bel canto. As he pulls into the bel canto, and as you get out of the car, there is a beautifully, dramatically timed, gentle snowfall, like a Christmas miracle. And he says, "Maxine, I normally despise cold weather and snow, but in this moment, it actually feels a little magical, wouldn't you say?"
I think Maxine will reach up and gingerly stroke a flake of snow from his brow and say, "A little magical indeed."
And we will cut there. And let's just take a quick break. Take 5. "Come, they told me, parum pom pom pom, a newborn king to see, parum pom pom pom." Una, the computers are starting to act really weird as this droning chant is going on, and the house is suddenly plunged into darkness. I owe you a clue, which I'll give you in a bit, but I do want you to make the night move. What are you afraid is going to happen if you lose your nerve?
I am afraid that the combination of whatever is happening with those chanters and these metal bits from the UFO, that I'm going to get taken over by aliens.
Very interesting. It's worse than that. You're going to be taken over by the void. So let's go ahead and roll with sensitivity.
Just gonna check my little no, nothing really standing out. That is, so I'm rolling my Japanese dice, so I'm trying to remember what the numbers are. That's a 7.
7. According to the night move, you will hold steady, but there's a complication or cost. I'll describe what it looks like. Our finest gifts to bring, parum pum pum pum, to lay before the king, parum pum pum pum. One of them looks up to the window and makes eye contact with you. You will take a condition, gifts before the king. And then they turn and walk off, and the lights all come back on. And your clue is there on the computer screen. It is a photo album. If you click through it, you'll find that a number of photos have been recently moved to the trash. If you click on the trash, you'll discover that Nathan has gone through and deleted all the pictures that have his mother in it, Teresa. What do you do? The house is very quiet now. Seems like the open house is over. You also saw Winston driving away with Maxine. um,
I'm going to create a new folder on the desktop called Nathan deleted these, and move all of those photos from the trash into that folder so that I know where they are and they don't get accidentally deleted.
you
when...
overhear, "What are you doing in here?" It's Teresa.
Oh, well, just enjoying my tour.
Right. Well, this room's off limits. The tour's over. The open house is over.
Oh, well, I suppose I'll get going.
Yes.
I must ask, because it's so hard losing a loved one, I do know. Did you and your son have a good relationship?
It was as good as one would expect a mother to have with her son. It
I
was
understand.
filled with warmth and affection in significant and appropriate amounts, I'd say.
Yes, that sounds very believable.
Listen, June Willoughby told me what you're here doing.
Yes. Trying to find out what happened to your son for your peace of mind.
I think if you're smart, you'll look into what happened to my father. I think my father had been waning for a while, truth be told. He might have had more endurance if he'd involved Winston in some of the operations, me too, for that matter. Nathan, though. Well, Nathan and my father had a very, very interesting relationship, we'll say. I'm not sure why he would say such a daft thing at his funeral. Now, of course, he's dead, too. May all our days be happy and bright. That's rich, huh?
Is one of those things that sort of hangs over us in Brindlewood Bay. What does it even mean to be happy and bright here? Well,
And she says, I don't know anymore. I don't know why anyone comes to this rotten little town.
I think the
Oh,
real question is,
sure.
why don't any of us leave it?
Well, some of us are tied here, unfortunately. The rest
What
of
type?
us are just, well, we all go for what we see on the surface, right? A holiday gala, ice cream cones on the boardwalk, the fish market. Everything is so quaint and perfect. But I think you and me know that that's not the truth of it. You don't have to dig very deep beneath the surface to find the rot in Brindlewood Bay.
Do you think your father had found that rot?
I think my father was a very, very headstrong man who was accustomed to getting his way and very unaccustomed to having people disagree with him. And he may have
So,
paid for it with his life.
do you think he had any particular grievances? Grievances. Do you think he had any particular grievances with anybody leading up to his death?
She says, this is the part of the story where I accidentally tell you about how I hated my father, but that's not a reason to kill him. But nevertheless, I would be suspect number one. Well, this isn't that kind of movie, Una. This is a Christmas movie. And at the end of a Christmas movie, everyone rediscovers the meaning of the season.
You know, people say that a lot. But think about what happened to Marley in the Christmas Carol. He never had a chance to redeem himself. What if some of us don't either?
And she considers this, and as she's going down the stairs, and she opens the door.
Watch out for Brindella.
And she says, and a happy new year to you too.
I'm going to turn off the lights as I leave the room.
Maxine, you're at the Bel Canto now. And Winston wants to stop by the Holly Stamp Card Company display to chat with Howard Holly. There are towering pyramids of velvet boxes, each containing a limited edition ornament. There's a one wall kind of decorated with vintage Christmas cards going back to the earliest days of Holly Stamp. And there are Holly Stamp elves, local teenagers dressed in floppy hats, velvet jerkins, and curled toe shoes. Let's paint the scene, everyone. The Holly Stamp Card Company has been trading on the charms of rustic rural life for decades. What do you see that shows how they try to romanticize rural life?
All of their Christmas cards are very Thomas Kincaid-esque. Especially the ones that sort of depict fantastical holiday Brindlewood Bay. When you look a little bit closely, you can see some of the darker things, shadows and giant waves in the background, but it does look on the surface straight from a Thomas Kincaid painting.
There's a recurring character in their cards that seems to come back every year, and it's a farmer standing in front of his beautiful white snow blanketed farm, beautiful sunrise over his shoulder, and it is just completely divorced from the fact that a subsistence farmer like he is purported to be would be having a very stressful time this time of year, not smiling charmingly at the camera, looking plump and easygoing.
I think it's just like the again, moving off of that idea, then there's always the cozy picture of the family unit, and everybody is in comfortable clothing and, you know, well suited for the weather, and the weather is never rough or untidy. It's always just enough snow to blanket the ground and the stars coming out at night, you know, just something to, it's beautiful and bucolic and nothing more.
Maxine, when you and Winston get to the display, which is kind of like a little pop-up shop in the Bel Canto, you know, Alexandra Winston Greaves is, or Alexandra, what's her name? Alexandra Windsor. What's her name? Alexandra something.
Alexandra Winston Grieve.
Windsor Greaves. Windsor Greaves. Alexandra Windsor Greaves is there. She's live streaming, and she has her arm around a young man who is he's wearing a red velvet jacket and green corduroy trousers, and a little name tag that says Howard Holly on it. And she says, "Hey guys, I'm here at the Holly Stamp Card Company Bel Canto Christmas display, and just taking it all in. The Holly Stamp Card Company has been kind enough to sponsor the Bel Canto Gala for the last few years, and we're just so happy to have them here. Hashtag blessed. And Howard just like waves at the camera, and they're kind of going around, and Howard is like, well, this ornament right here, this is actually a reproduction of a vintage ornament from 1929, the year that the Holly Stamp Company was founded. As you can see, the hand painting on it, and Alexandra's like, yeah, that's great, that's so cool, and she like walks off to like go. She's just ignoring him, sort of. He's trying to show her things, and she's like, at one point she sort of stops and she says, Howard, I just want to let you know that this is a really hard time for me, and your Christmas spirit is helping me get through this really trying time. Hashtag tears and tinsel. And Howard goes, oh, good. I'm glad. I'm really glad, Alexandra. That's well, Merry Christmas from our Holly Stamp Card Company. And she goes off, and Howard Holly sees you both, and he's like, oh, Mr. Greaves, ma'am, hello. Welcome to our Christmas display. I'm Howard Holly. I'm a marketing representative for the Holly Stamp Card Company, and also the great-grandson of the Holly Stamp Card Company founders.
Oh, isn't that lovely, keeping it all in the family?
Yes,
You and the Greaves have so much in common.
Yeah, I guess we do, don't we? Well, that's what Christmas is all about, right? It's about family. It's about tradition.
Of course, yes. And the young lady with the camera, Winston, is that
that's
a
Alexandra. Alexandra Windsor Greaves. Of course, Winston knows that. She's great.
Oh, yes, she seems quite connected.
Right. Well, how can I help the two of you? And Winston's like, oh, we're just looking around. And what are you doing?
So they have a little store here.
It is. Yeah.
Just as Maxine is browsing, maybe she's going to see if there are any papers, maybe a ledger, something.
Howard is by your side pretty quickly. In conjunction with the 50th anniversary of the Bel Canto, Holly Stamp has provided the most unique keepsake ornaments for this year's charity auction, limited edition, of course, and bound to be treasured for years. Can I show you some of them?
Oh, of course, I'd love to see them.
Good. And he's like, really exciting. He's getting some velvet boxes down from a stack. This whole week's really exciting. I won't be able to attend the performances myself. There's so much to do around here. Well, and Winston says, Alexandra will be at the concerts. He's like, oh, well, perhaps I should check my schedule twice, right?
Oh, you and Alexandra have a connection?
No, we're just friends.
Yes, of course. Yes. Does she know that you're friends?
Oh, she's, she's not the kind of girl that would really be interested in being friends with someone like me.
Well, you never know. Sometimes people surprise you.
Maybe. She's really online, and I'm kind of not.
And is that what she does? Be online? Is that her calling?
At this point, Alexandra comes up to the two of you and she says, "Oh, Harry, I was supposed to pick up one of those ornaments on the way out." And Howard goes, "Oh, it's Howard, actually." "Oh, right, Howard." And he goes to help her. That should tell you how that's going. Meanwhile, go ahead and make a meddling move with composure, since you're sort of sneaking about.
7.
7. I think I actually want you to roll a disadvantage because Winston is all up in your business too the whole time. Let's put another die out there.
5.
5. Okay. As you're all kind of, doing your thing, Howard steps away from Alexandra for a bit and he says to you, for some reason, do you think if I ask Alexandra to go with me to the first concert, like as a date, do you think she'd say yes?
Howard, until she called you Harold, I thought maybe you had a chance, but my young friend, I am sorry.
Oh. 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 Well, that's not
Chin
how
up,
these
though.
that's not how that's never how this goes in the Holly Stamp Channel movies, though.
Well, those are a little bit of fantasy, aren't they?
Well, yes, but I mean, I'm a nice guy. I'm not on anyone's naughty list.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've never
sure.
lived in a city.
Oh. Well, perhaps, dear, maybe you just need to spend a bit of time
What
on
if you
yourself.
asked her for me?
Oh. Well, I can't say I have much of a connection with Alexandra, but
Well, you're dating her. You're dating her.
dating is very we've only just met. But
I can't remember the relationship I'm looking right now. She would
Uncle?
be
No, he did like he Winston's her dad.
Winston's her dad. Yeah, Winston's her dad. Yeah. You're you're dating her father. I mean, surely that
well,
we could do like a double date. That's kind of weird, I guess, but
that is that could put Alexander in an awkward position, but perhaps I can put in a kind word to Winston for you.
he says, Alexandra, this this lady has something she wants to talk to you about.
Oh, this is happening. Okay.
And Alexandra comes up to you, and she's like, "Hi."
Hello, Alexandra. My name is Maxine. I'm a recent acquaintance of your father.
He's like, "Oh, it's really great. Yeah, he's so special, really special. I just
Yes, I'm certain that he is, but well, we're planning on attending the show later, of course, and it would be lovely if you would accompany us. But we actually have perhaps we can pair off you and Mr. Howard here, and myself and your father. It'd be lovely symmetry.
She's like, "Howard?"
Yes, and Maxine will just kind of squeeze Howard's arm and pull him up. And this is Howard, dear, your friend.
Oh, right. Yeah. So we'd like all go together.
Indeed, doesn't that sound lovely for Christmas? It'll look just great on the photos.
Yeah, I'm sure it would. But I'm just like really sad about Nathan
Oh,
and
of
my
course, of course.
grandfather. And I just don't think I really have the emotional bandwidth right now to do that.
And that makes so much sense, Alexandra. I am terribly sorry for
You
your
can feel
loss.
Howard sinking in your like.
But perhaps what you need is just a sympathetic ear, someone to talk to. Now, Howard, I have some experience in retail and business. Why don't I man the stand here while you take Miss Alexandra for a warm drink?
I can do that. Yeah, I'm a I I'm a I've been told I have very good shoulders for crying on.
Oh yes, I certainly appear so.
And
Alexandra, please go have a good time.
she's like, okay. And they go off. um, and you can just hear Howard in the background. He's like, no, I don't, what's TikTok? I don't know what that is. Meanwhile, Winston comes up to you and he says, where did Howard go? What's going on?
Oh, well, he's actually accompanying your daughter for a warm drink.
Oh, I see. I see.
She seems to be taking this very hard.
Yes, yes. Yeah, hashtag festive funeral and all that, right? Well, you know, everyone processes their grief in their own way.
Oh, of course, of course.
Meanwhile, we'll cut over to Una. What do you do once you're done at the Greaves estate? We've got a fair number of clues now. We can probably start theorizing pretty soon if you all want to get back together.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to head back to the Bel Canto.
Sounds good. Let me take a look at my materials here. I think as you are. You get back to the Bel Canto, and the night before the gala is like a family night. So families are kind of like, piling in, and there's a very long, patient line to take pictures with the Bel Canto Santa, who's seated on a golden throne decorated with musical notes and instruments. And there's actually a model train that sort of blows its whistle as it pulls into the station, a delight to the kids and kids at heart following its progress. And perhaps more interestingly to you, there is a champagne waterfall trimmed like a Christmas tree that you can go to grab a drink.
Well, I'm gonna pop over to the Champagne Waterfall since it's there, and I think that, I mean, it's Christmas, and you have to, of course, give a toast to the demonic helper of Santa, the Stragman.
Krampus? Oh.
Stragman. Stragman, which is basically like a Krampus, but in Brindlewood Bay specifically. And if you don't toast to the Stragman, you will not get blessings of wealth and health. Instead, you will get horrible nightmares for the rest of the year.
Merry Christmas.
Which is why you gotta have the champagne.
Indeed,
The toast.
indeed.
Very easy.
Maxine, you'll probably see Una over the way. There are families like trying to buy Christmas gifts or trying to buy ornaments and things and asking you questions about them. I don't know how much you know about such things, but in any case, that's what's happening. And Miri, what do you do when you're done with your tear-stained music pages?
I think she she'll take them and she'll kind of riffle through them and notice the back page is missing. And yeah, she'll come back out to the main lobby with the display and then the decorations to see probably Maxine over at the Holly Stamp display. And look at the ornaments, like come over and like, try to get together with them. In fact, she'll like as she's passing that table again, she'll pick up a couple of cups of like either the mulled wine or hot cocoa. She'll just like take an assortment and then just bring it over. Yeah. Any luck? I mean, did you find anything?
Oh, well, I found a friend. And she'll kind of nod toward Winston.
Oh, uh, that's an interesting friend to have. And she says this while she's handing you like one of the hot cocos. Well,
Yes. And Ches is he's okay. We're okay.
oh, good. That's good.
He'll be busy for a while.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So as long as we don't see him for the rest of the night, I think we're okay.
Oh, hopefully.
It's not illegal what you did, is it?
Well, strictly speaking, I simply forgot about him.
Oh, it's that memory again. You need to be taking more of that protein powder. What was it? Like
Oh, perhaps I took too much,
oh,
actually.
yeah. Blunt force. Yeah. A bit of trauma there, so okay.
Celia comes up. She says,
Oh.
Aunt Mary, Maxine, how are things going?
Going, I think, pretty well. I don't know if anybody had dropped this. And then this is where she shows her the pages of I'll be home for Christmas. It looks like the back page is missing. The last page.
Is it? Oh, that's unusual. Well, everyone knows that song, right? It's not the end of the world. Sure. I just saw Alexandra trying to convince Howard to do a Yule pole dance challenge. I don't know if that's I guess he's okay.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen David lately?
I have. He mentioned that he talked to you about my solo.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yes.
Well, I think he wants to do some you know, private rehearsal.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Does it sound good to you or
It sounds like a thing.
now remember, these things don't have to be good or bad. It's just what happens. Okay.
Right. I haven't seen Ches around though, thank God.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you don't need to worry about him. Again, it's like things happen. Whatever. It's
I
fine.
keep getting a text from him, but I just refuse to look at it.
You don't. I mean, I'm sure he's just bothering you and trying to interrupt your train of thought for what you need to get done this week,
Right.
today, tonight.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
And
She's
I
got her
left the
phone.
heat on.
She's got her phone out, and
And
she.
Mary's waving you down.
And she's like, she kind of looks at her phone. She's like, Ches, I think something's wrong with Ches. I think his car broke down or something. I'm sure he'll be okay, I guess.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Ignore that. It's like he's just trying to get your attention. I mean, he sounds like an attention hog. I don't think that's necessarily healthy for you.
Well, he definitely has a lot of very positive opinions about himself, that's for sure.
Oh, then he's got it handled. You're covered. It's fine. Don't worry about him. It's good.
Right. Yeah. He is very good looking, though.
If it was all just about that, then, well, I mean, they're a dime a dozen.
Right.
And you can get them at any age.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Exactly. Right.
Exactly.
Right. Well, how are things progressing on the MURDER front?
We're
Do you know anything about someone perhaps trying to buy out the Belcanto?
No. Is that what this is about?
Can't confirm, but there has been some talk and some missing checks.
Every Christmas story has to have a Scrooge.
Yes, usually we like the ghosts to be more metaphorical.
Right. Well, I guess I'll go find David. He's a nice guy.
He is.
Make sure he doesn't know any Rowans, dear.
Right. I think poor Howard is I think they're doing breakdance moves right now.
Don't look.
Someone should rescue him.
Do you want to rescue him?
No.
Okay. All right. I think he'll manage.
Probably. You currently have 7 clues.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel good about your 7 clues, or do you want to go for some more?
I don't have a theory. That's the problem. Like
Do you want to take a quick break and kind of think about it and come back and figure out?
Yeah.
If we don't have an idea, if we want a couple of more, we can still do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got
okay,
time.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
All right, let's take 10.
Okay, great.
So you have 7 clues, and I gather you all were talking about it a little bit on the break. Do you need more clues? Do you want to search particular angles here to help get a theory locked down?
I think we have sort of the bare bones, a really weird basic skeleton.
I think the key to the theory might be the speech Nathan made. We don't really know what the content of that speech is yet.
Yeah.
But maybe that could be like context you add to your theory, which might tie it together, right?
Right.
Yeah. Do we want to grab maybe one more clue?
At least one more clue, and then see if it kind of slides into what we think. Sure.
Yeah. Could also define the clue if you want to do a cozy move in the middle of the bel canto here.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let's see what we got.
Then you have a lot of control.
That's true. That's true. Hold on. Let me see. What do we got? I don't even remember what we do. I sing, Maxine works out, and armchair cryptozoology. I feel
like the singing is probably something that could happen.
Sure.
Pretty easily here.
I mean, I think maybe after we extricate Maxine from doing the Holly stamp display, I think I drag you both into a practice room, one of the bigger practice rooms that's back here. And it's like, I just like start tootling around on the piano and then just like, singing random bits from Christmas songs, just to get a handle on like practicing but not practicing. And then we're just talking about, this.
Yeah.
And then so
clearing your head by doing your cozy move to kind of, I get that.
For sure. And then like I'll even do you an advanced Christmas present, Una, because like you didn't know this, but Mary was planning on writing a song for you, like a medley of the Christmas songs, but then including all of the notes from the Brindlewood Bay creatures that you had talked about over the past year. Largefoot, and the hag,
the Brindlewood Bay butterfly being, and the Brindlewood Bay fish
suckers in there, definitely fish suckers in there, and then like
Brissy, I think the Brindlewood Bay sea serpent.
Yes, there was also something about it, like a people muncher. I forget what, but I mean, like it's in there too. I mean, got the whole caboodle, and then I'm singing this to you because it's like, and I tell you in advance, I say, look, this is an advanced Christmas present. Don't get too excited. I mean, it's probably still in first draft, but here you go. And then like, she just starts off singing, and she starts it off by doing the tune Holly Jolly Christmas, but using those. Yeah.
This is the most beautiful song I've ever heard.
I thought you'd like it. I really did. Just don't know what to make of this all. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Perhaps we're looking at this from the wrong perspective. thinking now about this beautiful song that you just wrote, about all of the wonderful beings that live in and around and under Brindlewood Bay, I wonder if we're looking too much into why and not about what people are as a being, you know? The cryptids aren't evil. They are just what they are. Maybe these people aren't evil or bad. They are just what they are. And we have
I'm
to
sure
look
I'm
more
sure
at the
Ches would be
motivation.
like, that's what I'm saying, right?
Oh yeah, no,
If
for
given
sure.
the opportunity.
Get out of here, Ches.
He's not bad. He just is what he is.
He just loves everybody.
Except for
Unfortunately.
Ches. Ches is the real cryptid.
You can study him when he gets out. It's fine. It's great.
Well, per the move, you can each clear a condition if you can work that into your scene. And then Miri, you can stumble on a clue while this scene is going on.
Okay. Well, I want help from my fellow mavens with this clue. Like, so what are we aiming towards? You know? I mean, like,
I think our big lacking thing right now in terms of our theory is motivation.
mm-hmm.
We have 2 dead people, and we don't know why anybody would kill them, really.
And it may be a red herring for what either covering like it may not even be necessarily connected. Maybe Miles died because of illness and age, and then Nathan said his idiotic thing and then was killed for it, or Miles was killed and then Nathan mentioned like murder, and of course he had to get knocked off because too close, but by accident, you know what I mean? So I mean, it could be either one of those things, and unfortunately it's like we just have to decide which channel we want to investigate more.
What if Nathan killed Miles and something in his speech clued off the person who would kill Nathan?
Oh,
And
I see. So
so
Nathan did it, and then
someone in the family killed Nathan to.
but why? Why would they kill Nathan?
Because maybe he was egged on by somebody else. He was egged on to kill Miles because somebody else kind of Iegoed him into it, you know, like make having him think it was a good idea. And because he did like a drunken confessional, like, oh, he was murdered, wasn't he? And then
Oh, they had to get that person. Yeah, they had to get Nathan to shut up. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
What if Nathan wasn't actually drunk? What if he was poisoned by Holly and it just looked like drunkenness?
Oh shit.
Oh, you think Howard Hawley's involved in this?
No, the crown of Holly
the
that we have
crown
in the
of
Oh,
Holly.
the Crown of Holly. Oh.
Yeah, because Holly
pretty
is
cool.
poisonous.
It
Yeah.
is indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. It's poisonous. I was actually gonna go for the like, you know, the meaning angle, but I love this one so much better. Like, you know, the poisoning thing. So that actually makes perfect sense.
Maybe Miles was killed. And no. What if Miles died of natural causes?
Mhm.
And Nathan had suspicions that it wasn't, even though it was.
Right.
And his suspicions in his drunken tirade would throw somebody's plans, if they believed him, because it's very believable,
Yes.
into turmoil. Poisoned by Holly. I just really want Poison Holly to be a thing.
Well, Nathan was bludgeoned to death.
Yes.
According to the details that we know.
Yeah.
Found with now
a clue indicating that a poison was made from the crown would be a good clue, or that could just be the clue of the that could just be like from the crown, I suppose. But there might be like some other clue related to delivering the poison.
The crown maybe was delivered or given to Nathan. No.
I mean, you can
What
even
if-
get seasonal about it and call it like a Holly dart, like that made him have that drunken condition. So, then he's like slowly poisoned, but then bludgeoned because, he's yeah,
Or
he's in a
the
weakened
I got
poison
state.
it.
was what got Miles.
I'm sorry.
The poison got Miles.
Yeah, I was thinking the
Ooh,
poison's
yeah, yeah.
that's how Miles died. That's what I was.
Okay,
That's
got
what
it, got
we're
it.
going for.
I was
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
say
Okay,
the
I like
exact
that.
same thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And then, okay, so we talked about maybe Teresa wasn't Nathan's actual mother.
Oh, interesting. That could be a great
May-
clue to stumble
Maybe
onto.
maybe the clue we stumble onto is Miles's will. Who is he leaving his, I don't know, world to? His rich person world?
I mean,
Maybe it's
Go ahead.
not that Teresa isn't Nathan's mother. She's not Miles's daughter.
Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
She was complaining about being cut out of the business a lot, right?
yeah.
Right.
Ah,
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh boy. Okay. So yeah.
And so when Nathan learned this and realized then the chain of succession wouldn't ever get to him.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
pretty
he
good.
definitely would
And
delete Moto's mom.
all his sucking up, all of his finance work that he's been spending, all that energy he's been spending to really get on Miles's good side is for naught,
Right.
because he's not even in consideration, because traditionalists like Miles aren't going to pass, you know, their lineage of wealth onto a bastard grandson.
That's good. I think there's a way of stumbling onto this clue too. So
Okay.
you all were like, you were practicing something. Were you in the music practice room, or were you just
One
kind
of the
doing this
music
out?
practice rooms. There's many
Okay.
back there. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think like I think it could be as simple as like while you're back there,
Mhm.
someone slips a note under the door, since it's just the three of you back there,
Mhm.
and there's no chance of anyone else finding it. And the anonymous note just says straight up, Teresa was not Miles's daughter.
Yeah.
I bet you who snuck that under the door was the Brindlewood Bay Belsnickie, which is sort of like the Pennsylvania Dutch Belsnickel, which, if I recall correctly, is like a gnome type person who dresses in rags and arrives on Christmas to beat up kids who are bad.
Now I need to
Uh,
add another verse to the song. Dang
So many
it.
Christmas things are about like bad kids, like nowadays they just don't get gifts, but before it was like, we're gonna boil you in oil.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
like
You know,
much more
like,
severe. The
flay
fairy
you.
tales were much more
Yeah,
severe.
like, they were so
yeah,
bad.
old
No.
school Christmas is rad.
We just watched Rare Exports, which is one of my favorite Christmas movies, and that has a whole like thing in it in the beginning about like all these like really terrible violent things that were done to kids who misbehaved, and
My
the Krampus,
gosh.
of course. Okay, so you now have 8 clues. You have this enormous emerald ring with a little note that says payment in full. Teresa was she was either delivering that to someone or had received it herself. There is a contract for the bel canto unsigned that Nathan had in his possession when he died. Ches overheard an argument between Miles Winston and Nathan about the buyout offer for the bel canto. That feels really important.
Yeah.
Checks missing from a checkbook. A crown made of holly. The tear-stained sheet music, I'll Be Home for Christmas, the last page missing. Nathan has deleted photos of his mother. That feels really important. And then the note slipped under the door that Teresa was not Miles's daughter. So the last 2 clues seem to go hand in hand. Like if Nathan figured out his mom was not actually going to inherit anything, he might have like angrily, dumped those pictures or whatever from the family photo album.
Maybe this is a thing that Teresa also just found out about recently, which is why the checkbooks are missing. She was starting to set herself up.
Got to feather her nest, before
Yeah.
it all goes away. Yeah,
Sure. I like that. Yeah.
that makes sense.
And that's she found out, and then somehow after that, Nathan found out because she had just found out.
Right. The crown made of holly, we're going to say that was used to poison Miles. We can even say toxicology has come back and it shows some kind of like substance in his bloodstream.
Yeah, I
So
like
he
it.
was, yeah. And so the crown of maple holly is like evidence of the poisoning, or at least suggestive of it.
Sure.
That's 4 of your clues. I mean, the basic theory here is that who killed Miles then?
Yeah, that's the thing we have to figure out. I mean, like,
Yeah.
okay, so if Miles was poisoned and then Nathan was killed because he made the suggestion right out loud in front of lots of people that heard him that he was murdered, then he needed to be put out of the way as well.
So someone,
did it.
I like the idea of someone paid Miles or Nathan to kill Miles.
Yeah.
Because now, as far as Nathan knows, Miles is not his grandfather anymore, right?
Right.
Pays him to kill him, and then Nathan acts out at the funeral, and that person then bumps off Nathan just to make sure that it doesn't get out, right?
Yeah.
That all makes perfect sense to me. Who is the person who did it? Who's the person ultimately behind it all? That's what we have to find out.
I mean, what if the ring wasn't going to Teresa? What if she found it?
She could have, right? Yeah, she totally could have. Yeah.
So payment in full in an emerald ring, weird, but not unheard of, to Nathan as payment for killing off
It makes a certain degree of sense because
his
at
not
this
grandfather.
point, because it's unclear like whether Winston would have had access to Belcanto funds, right, to even pay for
and
a
paying somebody
hitman.
off for a hitman with a physical item it's going to be
paper
harder
trail.
to trace.
Yeah, there's no paper trail, right? Yeah.
Okay, we can use that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So someone paid off. The payment in full was meant to go to Nathan, basically.
Yeah.
Sure.
So who would benefit from Miles being knocked off? It's not going to be Teresa. She's not in the will. Unless he hasn't updated the will.
Well, clearly there was some sort of effort to sell the Belcanto. That seems pretty obvious.
Right.
And Winston probably has the most to lose in that scenario, I would think.
I'm thinking it might be Winston.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like Winston would, like, he was all about tradition and don't break it if it is, or don't fix it if it isn't broken. Like, it doesn't.
Oh.
What if it's Alexandra?
What? That's whoa.
Alexandra finds out about all this drama in her family. She cannot capitalize on it for her TikTok. And if the Belcanto gets sold, that's one of her, I can't imagine she works a regular job. It's one of the income sources in her life.
Where was Nathan found?
On
the main stage.
Yeah.
Like
bludgeoned.
Okay, so what if Nathan, realizing he's not related to Alexandra anymore, maybe
he tried to hook up with her?
Yeah, and she hit him.
Oh my god.
And it's like completely separate from what happened to Miles.
It's a total red herring.
Yeah. Right.
Red herring. Oh, interesting. What is the clue that would speak to that, though? Yeah, there's really nothing to back that up.
Yeah.
It's like pure conjecture.
I'm gonna think about this Alexandra thing again. If she thinks that having the Belcanto in her life gives her influence and or money, and Miles and Winston and Nathan, that the argument that Chess overheard about them trying to sell it, no, I lost it.
I mean, I think it seems pretty obvious that the attempt to sell the Belcanto, that's got to figure into the motive of whoever tried to kill Miles, right? And so you really just have to figure out who stands to lose the most if the Belcanto gets sold, right?
Winston would.
I feel like we're proper investigators right now.
I know.
Yeah.
It does feel like Winston to me, because Winston has hinted a couple of times like how he seems very devoted to like the idea of the Belcanto and like what it means, like, traditionally.
It's not broke.
Perfectly.
Like, don't fix it.
Right, yeah.
And like,
and he also made a great big deal about his dad like not being very like malleable in terms of like making decisions, right? Like he was
Right.
very like clearly pissed at his dad about his
Yeah.
dad making his mind up about something, right?
And we've
Right.
established that pretty much everybody knows the murder mavens are investigating this.
Right.
So Winston would know, it's a really good way to find out what the
Stay
investigators are up
close to
to.
Maxine. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
I
Ew,
hate
gross.
he's
him.
playing with your heart, Maxine.
Oh
No,
gosh.
not Maxine.
Not Maxine. No, 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 no.
That'll be a fabulous like
We're bringing him down.
like if the role goes poorly, that'll be really fun to
Oh no.
like
No, no,
Winston
no, no, no,
threatens
no, no.
Maxine.
No. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna use that one about the
I-
argument definitely for Miles.
It feels like
and
Winston to
Nathan.
me. I don't know.
It's
like
Winston.
It feels like
Feels like
Winston. To me.
Winston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tear-stained sheet music, I'll be home for Christmas with the last page missing. I think that is just part of the fact. I think Nathan tore that out in a fit of drama.
Yeah. Nathan feels like a very dramatic person, even though we don't
Yes.
know him.
Right.
He feels high drama about a drunken tirade and like all the photos and everything. Yeah.
Sure.
Nobody needs 8 monitors for their computer. Nobody in the world.
Oh, that's
Has
so
anyone
horrible.
I don't know if you guys watch
Teachers do though. Teachers would.
I don't know if you guys watch there's a comedian called Trevor Henderson who does these like dumb YouTube videos of like, I'm a guy and this is me being that guy or whatever. And there's one about like finance bros. He does like finance bros. And it's really good.
I'm gonna look that up after.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
Cool.
Anyway, all right. So yeah. Okay.
4,
Everything,
5,
I mean,
7.
you've got at least 7. The tear stained sheet music.
I think that applies more for like Nathan's involvement, and maybe not necessarily as a clue for why everything happened. But I think that is just an associated Nathan being overdramatic reaction.
About the family being torn apart and stuff. Yeah, that's
Mm.
interesting. Okay, so all right, I'm into it. Let's go through these clues.
Okay.
Okay, so the overall theory is that Nathan finds out he and his mom are not actually like legitimate parts of the family, and they're not going to inherit anything.
Right.
And so suddenly Nathan becomes kind of a free agent. So does Teresa. Teresa's stealing from her dad, and Nathan is like kind of suddenly trying to figure out like where he fits into all this, and he's angry and he's pissed and everything and all this other stuff. Miles and Nathan was there when Miles and Winston had a fight about selling the Bel Canto.
Yes.
It seems like Nathan may have even swiped a contract that was being prepared for the sale of the Bel Canto.
Nice.
And Winston takes this opportunity to basically approach Nathan and say, hey, help me off my dad. And,
you're back in the family.
You're back in the family. Yeah. Like, it'll be like nothing ever happened. Why should we suffer for what he did? Right.
Right.
And so that's the basic theory. And then Nathan, in his drunken state, says too much at the funeral. And then someone, presumably Winston, but we actually don't know for sure, someone kills Nathan for it.
Right.
I feel like since Winston had hired Nathan basically with that emerald ring, to kill off Miles, I can't imagine he'd actually do the dirty deed himself. He doesn't sound like the type of person that would get his hands dirty. He probably paid somebody to do it. What if it was Ches?
Oh, Ches. Not
Yeah,
Ches.
I mean,
why was
he's a
Ches
big,
even there?
strong
Right.
guy.
Yeah.
Why is he in Brindlewood Bay?
Why is he in Brindlewood Bay? Yeah, he's there to help with the gala. Like that.
Please.
Yeah. Like
Please.
and he just happened to be there when all this stuff was going down. Yeah.
Nah, he and Winston have a prior relationship from working on gala stuff and being Brindlewood Bay, etc.
Yeah.
And Winston was like, hey, I'll pay you a lot of money. You're trying to impress your ex-fiance.
Yeah.
You know what's impressive?
I think it would be
Money.
fun if we had a little retconned context when Maxine says something about we don't have any turkey carving knives at the gym. He says something like, no, but you have a lot of heavy weights. And like
Oh no! Oh my gosh. Oh.
I hate that guy. Oh, I love this theory because it makes everyone I hate suffer.
All right. So I like that. I like the idea of Ches doing Nathan in. I think that's pretty great.
Wow.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Continuing on with the clues. So the Emerald Ring is an untraceable payment to
Nathan.
to Nathan, or
to Ches.
possibly Ches. Yeah, right. But the fact that Teresa has it makes me think that it was to Nathan.
Yeah.
But yeah. In any case, the contracts and the selling the bell counter, that's all there. The check from the missing checkbook is just Teresa trying to get hers before all this goes to hell.
Yep.
The crown made of holly confirms the holly poisoning. That was how Miles was killed.
Yep.
The sheet music is just more, and the photos are just Nathan being dramatic about the whole thing.
Yes.
And then the note, the real clincher, is the note under the door that says Teresa was not Miles's daughter. Yeah, this is a good theory. You've got a +2 on the roll. Who wants to roll it?
I would like if Ben doesn't mind, I would ask Mads to roll it, because she wrote this mystery.
Okay.
Just seems nice.
Okay.
Also, it's on you if it goes bad.
Well, yeah, usually. Hey, it's happened before, so crown. Can we use a crown?
You can't. Not in Brindlewood Bay.
You can now. Yeah, the new rules you can. Yeah, it's just like the between. Everybody can mark one. Yeah.
Okay, so that is a 3 + 3 + 2 is
8.
8. So mixed.
Yeah, you're correct, but the killer or killers or the people involved will certainly.
Oh God.
They will resist in their way. That could be fun. If you all want it to be a more tidy ending, you can all mark crown.
I think a crown would be really fun, so we can do a full narrative ending with all the wonderful Hallmark movie trappings.
Let's do it.
Okay, sounds good.
Mark your crowns. That's a 10+.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Crowns.
I'm going to mark the pomegranate kernel to be obsessed with the void. It's just to make my ending a little bit more creepy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just gonna go on to the chariot. Sounds good.
All
Shadow in
right.
the garden for me.
0.
Okay, sounds good.
0. Wow. Okay, great.
So let's figure out how the accusation is going to go. Are you just going to gather all the Greaveses and other people involved in the show together and make the accusation? Is that how this is going to go?
You could bring them to the gym and free Ches.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. Or you can just go for Ches and then have him show up at the Volcanto too. Unless you all just have this scene in a weightlifting room, which could be fun, I guess.
Well, Winston was tied to you anyway, Maxine. So it would be interesting to see, like, me and Una following in the Enigma engine, and then, or what have you, and then, like, we bring Winston to help us release Ches, but then we call Sheriff Dalrymple, I suppose, and the deputies to be there at the ready, I guess. I
kind of like that. I think it's good. Yeah, so on the way over, I think when you arrive at the gym, Maxine, with Winston, we'll say, the sheriff's cruisers are already there, the lights casting red and blue light on the white snow. And Winston looks at you and he says, "You figured it all out, didn't you?"
I am, unfortunately for you, more than a pretty face, my dear. And I had help.
This is quite a lump of coal you've put in my stocking here, Maxine.
Smaller than the lump on poor Nathan's head, I suppose.
That kid, he had it coming.
Perhaps. But I can't say I appreciate being used like that, Mr. Greaves.
Meanwhile, at the gym, Ches is let out of the changing room, and everyone's there. Celia's there as well, and he sees all the cops. He sees Celia. He sees all of you, and he's like, "What's going on here? What?"
I think the game's over, Chess. I think you're done dallying and, well, doing other jobs.
Celia, she says, "I loved you, Ches. We were going to spend the rest of our lives together. And then you did what you did, and now you've done what you've done. And I'm just happy that everyone here is here to help me get through this and to help bring you to justice." And Ches, he sighs. He looks at her and he says, "It's not too late for a Christmas miracle, babe." And she says, "Yes, it is. I'm afraid it is."
Oh my God. Miri just like gets kind of a little bit in front of Celia, a little protectively, and just, "You can't be serious, young man."
And yeah, they lead him away. They lead Winston away. Alexandra is there. "Hey guys, I just got some really sad news. It seems that someone is trying to frame my father for the murder of my grandfather. This is like some Knives Out shit. But like for real. For life. We're setting up a GoFundMe for his legal defense. We'll have links in the notes for you to go and help us out. I'm just in a really dark place right now." And
I'm in a really dark place right now.
she's like, "But thank goodness I have my new boyfriend Harold with me. Say hi, Harold." And so they're doing their thing. Teresa, she comes up to you, Una. And she says, "I suppose I should thank you for helping get all this out in the open. This has been one real shitty Christmas, I'll tell you that."
Well, if you're interested, I do have a Christmas tradition I do every year. And I do find that it helps to really make the year end better.
What's that?
Una starts pulling these really strange items out of her bag. Things that look like bones of creatures, twigs of different types of trees tied together. Let's go down to the beach and give some offerings. Just sit, listen to the waves and the cold. We know something's out there. Maybe it'll listen.
And the camera pulls away with snow falling down on Maxine's gym and the cop car is assembled. And we just hear all the jingle ladies, all the jingle ladies, all the jingle ladies, all the jingle ladies. And that will conclude that part of it. Do we have any crowns that need to be narrated?
No.
No?
I mean,
Nope.
They're all void stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, we could just do a little quick Christmas epilogue for your characters.
Mhm.
What do we see? How does their Christmas go?
Oh, we see Una on the beach. It's freezing. It's the middle of winter, and these icy waves are sort of crashing up on the moonlit sand. She's got candles lit all around her, and all these little items interspersed with Christmas ribbons and other, like, the ones that are like plastic and have the little sticker on the bottom, but they're just sort of placed around. And I think she's chanting the parum pum 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 song. Little Drummer Boy, I forgot the name of the song. Uh, but with a really happy smile on her face. And I think Teresa is there, joining in.
Nice.
At Maxima Fitness, there is a Christmas tree up in the window, and we see Maxine talking to a client before going and taking a seat at the weight bench. And we see her face. She goes from smiling, happy to just intent and some anger there. And then the camera pans through into the change room, and we see a hand reach into an open locker, and it withdraws a big black cloak.
Nice.
Okay. I think at Mary's house, it's tastefully decorated for the season. I mean, like there's some like pine cone, like candle displays and such. And then there's also of course her piano, her baby grand, and she's playing. And in the living room, as she's playing some songs, she veers towards playing something that the two, Celia and David, had done as a duet for one of their Take Skits shows. And she just remembers them singing. And as she's remembering them singing, they're in her living room and they're remembering this. And then they get up and then they sing it together, the back and forth and singing the duet. And they'll bring their hands together, clasp hands, and they will look into each other's eyes as the camera pans and fades into the candle display that she has in her window. And you just hear the strains of their duet fading out into the night.
Oh, nice. Well, let's go ahead and do a quick stars, I guess. I don't know what wishes would be in this context, but yeah, just debrief a little bit. I'll just say that I had a really great time. This was a lot of fun. I felt like we were getting all the Christmas stuff that we needed for this mystery. And so that was really good fun. I liked there's a lot of humor, there was a lot of humor, but also like a lot of like emotion. And it was also kind of fun to like do this dark parody of the Hallmark Channel movie. I thought that was really enjoyable. Yeah, just a good time overall. It was a fun little Christmas bonbon.
My stars are very similar. I loved all of the character interactions with the NPCs. They were always just so spot on and so entertaining, but they still pushed the story forward. Even in situations when it wasn't necessarily about getting a clue, it still felt like it was pushing the narrative, and I really enjoyed that. all the Christmas song stuff was great. I infamously hate Christmas music, so it was just so wonderful to really poke at that, because the 5 golden rings that happened every now and then, every time it happened, I died. It was so good. So I think, yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm really glad we did it. So stars for all of you for the wonderful characterizations, and big stars for Mads for writing this.
Stars for, again, thank you for bringing this together, Jason. I mean, of course, I always enjoy when you keep a game for us, whether it be between Brindlewood Bay, what have you, it doesn't matter. It's always wonderful. And I had actually done a few weeks ago a playthrough of this with a group, but I split it up into a 2-shot because, well, they missed their role and I didn't realize the new rule. So I didn't realize that they were like, oh shit, how do I react to this? Because I didn't realize they could use crowns. So we did solve it in the next one where they gathered, I think, 1 or 2 more clues and then they redid it. But yeah, no, I mean, it was great to be able to play this as opposed to run it and also remember what I was thinking. So again, stars for this experience. I mean, I love the characters as well. I mean, well, I knew Una, and then the introduction of Maxine was just brilliant. I mean, it was so cool, like to have like such a strong character, and then all the romance. I'm weird anyway.
It was
So
all tragic romance though, except
yeah,
for David and Celia.
yeah.
Although it was strongly implied that David fooled around with Ches at one point, so I feel like something's going to come out eventually about that.
Well, that's why I kind of left it hanging and
Yeah.
fading out,
Yeah.
so it doesn't have to
And
be happy.
Miri was very much pushing like for David to be the rebound guy just for now, which was
Just for now,
so
yeah.
funny.
It's all fine. It's all fine.
Just so funny.
She had rebound guys too, so come on.
I think Alexandra and Howard are going to make it though. I feel like
Yeah,
they are.
like ironically and counterintuitively, yes, I think it's going to be fine for them. But yeah, no, I mean, like, I don't really have any wishes except to hopefully be able to in the future play with you guys again. I mean, for whatever open season that we have. I mean, that would be great.
Yeah, stars for this was a great mystery. I really loved the Greaves family and the drama that we inserted with them. That was really good. I really enjoyed I had a lot of fun doing the answering question, solving a mystery.
Theorize.
Thank you. That was a lot of good fun, and yeah, it felt like we were really detectivizing there for a bit. It was a joy to play Brindlewood Bay again, and the Christmas special is such a cool idea. I'm glad we got to do it, and that there was such a fun mystery to support it. So thanks for that, and really wish. Yeah, I hope Howard and Alexandra go the long run, and if we do return to Brindlewood Bay, I hope that this starts just a habit of Maxine falling for the wrong guy.
Yeah, that'd be fun. It's good. I will say that one thing I thought was really interesting was, so we were playing the upcoming Nephews in Peril version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Murder, which no one but me and my layout artist have seen, and but it was really fun, and Mads, I'm curious if you picked up on, like, there's a lot of like added stuff, right? Because the mysteries have been expanded a lot, since their original introduction. So they have moments now, and they've got paint the scene is much more detailed, like all that stuff.
Yes.
But I did make I think the one like change I made, like I didn't really change much substantively, but I did change Alexandra a lot from how she was originally written.
Okay.
And I think it played out good. I like this version of Alexandra. The original version of Alexandra was cool, but she was kind of like a sneaky like wallflower, paying attention to what everyone was doing in the background, right? And that was fun. But I actually thought the sort of like weird, like this sort of like obnoxious streamer thing was fun to play.
Yes.
And it reminded me a lot of Laura Sanchez from the from the Bread and Breakfast Mystery, who is also kind of a similar kind of character. Like she's the true crime podcaster. And so I just think characters like this are such a good fit in Brindlewood Bay. And so
Oh, that was fine. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
a star was just, I was really happy that that change felt right in play to me. But otherwise, yeah, it's basically the same. It's just got like, it's just kind of like, because all the mysteries are like just bigger and more expanded, it's just like got more going on. And I try to add lots of Christmas detail, like all the, the bel canto Santa Claus and like all those like details and stuff.
No, it was wonderful. Thank you so much for running this. I mean, it was great. And, again, didn't need to get into a whole lot of preamble with it, because I mean, like, we all know this game, we all love this game, and God knows, I mean, just having the ability to play with experienced players for something that I wrote was just
it's fun.
amazing.
It's great. I get to do that every week, so like I forget that it's like what a special experience that can be.
Weird,
right?
incredible feeling. Yeah.
Absolutely. I never get to play though. I'm always the keeper, but that's okay. That's the way I like it. So I don't want to be a player.
I was gonna say, how
if you want to play, I mean, I can
I
schedule
don't.
something. I can get you to play.
There are people who just are not players, and I am one of those people. So.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, it's just the thing. But this is great fun. Any other stars or wishes or anything else before we go? Okay. Well then, everybody who's watching the video, happy Christmas and New Year, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.